Well, this is a little disappointing, and I think I know whose autograph I won't be getting at Star Trek Las Vegas this year. Hello, everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy, and apparently Kate Mulgrew, who played Captain Janeway on Star Trek Voyager, says the original series was misogynist, but she'll still appear in Picard. I don't... Did you miss the whole part where the actresses themselves wanted to wear miniskirts because of the sexual revolution? Did you miss the part where Star Trek was super inclusive to women of color? They had the first interracial kiss. Did you miss the part where Star Trek really, really represented the era that it came from? Which was a huge, huge movement in the women's revolution. I mean, you kind of have to take it for what it was. And we've come really far since then, but they did have women just alongside the men on the bridge. You just happen to have Captain Kirk on there. And yeah, it was written at a time when, you still had analog clocks rolling back here and there. You'd see the analog stuff on the bridge. Yeah, not everything is going to be at today's standard. But this is disappointing because I'm a huge Voyager fan. And yeah, that's old hair Mecha, old hair color Mecha from a long time ago. Captain Janeway, don't be like that. And you still want to hear Picard. Is this just now trying to appease the current trend? I should put it. That might be what this is. It might be her trying to appease the current trend where you have to be like, oh yeah, white men suck, blah 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 blah, and then that's the only way you get into your acting gigs. I don't know. She's probably doesn't need money. She's probably doing just fine going to the conventions. I mean, I've seen how much she's charging for an autograph. She's not going to be hurting for money. The captain of the USS Voyager says there's more work to be done. All right. So they might just be twisting her words. Sometimes these articles just twist the words for clickbait. Kate Mulgrew represented a giant leap for Star Trek when she took command of the USS Voyager in 1995. Absolutely. I was so excited. Just like, oh my god, we have, this is like the first woman captain. And this was when we were doing this. This is when we were actually making efforts to, like we had Cisco, who's probably my favorite captain. Now that I think about it, I think, Cisco is definitely my favorite captain. As much as I'm like, oh, but I love Janeway and I love Picard, I love Kirk. Cisco is my favorite captain. And you're going to say, no love for Archer. Yeah, Archer's fine. Nothing wrong with Archer. As the first woman to play a lead captain in the franchise, she knew what she represented. Yeah, and I was 16, and I've scheduled my life around this. Like, I have some old writings of mine where I'm like, oh, I'm going to write down all the Star Treks. I'm going to write down the number on the Voyager. I was a nerd in the 90s. I don't know. I shouldn't be apologizing for it. I've had that poster, that Mystery Science Theater poster, since 1996. So if you want to know anything about what teenage Mecha was like. Also, typo negative on the wall as well. So yeah, it was a weird mix of goth and geek, but that's the thing. That was okay. It is still okay. Without question, playing the first female captain came with a huge responsibility, she told RadioTimes.com. Not just to further these extraordinary ideas given wings by Gene Roddenberry, but to do so with an intention and intelligence that would extend itself in particular to the women in my audience. That was me. That was 16-year-old me saying, oh my god, we've got this is kind of amazing. We've got, B'Elanna Torres as an engineer, and you don't really think about that until you kind of realize you're looking back, because I did fall for the whole, oh my god, we have a woman captain, this is amazing. But keep in mind, this was like 20 years ago. We're kind of beyond that, or we should be beyond that now. We shouldn't be still dragging up, oh, the first, because I think we should have evolved by now. Because until Captain Janeway, no, we didn't have a main series lead that was a woman. Same thing with Cisco. Until Cisco, we didn't have a main series lead that was the lead captain, commander, whatever you wanted to call him at the time, because he was commander, then they got promoted. We didn't have that, we didn't have... You guys know where I'm going with this. We're kind of beyond this now. To still be kind of hanging on to this is a little bit outdated, I think, in my opinion. Speaking about the 50-year legacy of the moon landing of her documentary The Space Race, now available on Audible, she noted that many women had entered the sciences after watching Voyager. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of women between that and Stargate and all of it. I mean, you had, what was her name? Dr. I'm mistaking her with Gemma Mays. I can't remember her name, but she was like the first African-American woman on the space station who ended up being, I think she was on the space station or in space. She ended up being on an episode as an extra in Star Trek The Next Generation. You know, it did a lot to let people know, hey, this is what we can accomplish. I think just people in general, and not just men, women, I think it goes beyond ethnic group with Star Trek and beyond gender, because we always had this great vision of what the future could be, of everybody kind of getting over their stupid petty crap and working together to celebrate, hey, we're not going to always get along. We're not always going to be the same. We can use what you bring to the table with your special, unique skill set, and we can evolve and explore space. Oh my God, I would love that. I would love that. She paid tribute to Gene Roddenberry, creator of the franchise, for his inclusive vision of the future. So what are you doing? This is just a trash article. This is just a slam piece against Kate Mulgrew. Is that what they're doing, or does she actually slam Roddenberry? Watching Catherine Janeway captain a starship empowered them in a way that nothing else could at the time. We're talking about the 90s in Hollywood. Exactly, the 90s, not 2019. This is a long time ago. This is what, 25 years ago. What they put on television as a harbinger of things to come. You're talking about a visionary, and his name was Gene Roddenberry. He foresaw what others could not see. Nevertheless, we have not reached utopia yet. Mulgrew says she was not surprised by certain misogynist reactions for Discovery, the newest female-led series. That isn't true. We don't like this led by... We don't not like that it's led by a female. We don't like the fact that it's shit. We don't like the fact that it's written like it's an ADHD chihuahua and it's filmed on the back of one. You've got camera angles that swoop and curve and go upside down, and every angle's a Dutch angle, and they rock you, and we don't like that. We don't like the verbal diarrhea of Star Trek Discovery. We don't like that it doesn't say anything, that it doesn't have a cohesive plot. We don't like that the whole series is based around one screw-up character that they had to shoehorn in to be related to other characters. Like, they're so weak, they couldn't even make these characters stand on their own without bringing in Spock. Without bringing in the... That's what we don't like about it. It has nothing to do... Sonequa Martin Green's a gorgeous woman. She seems like such a sweetheart. I am very harsh on the character she plays, but that might be directing, that might be writing, that's probably 99% writing, and whatever they're doing in the editing room that makes it so incoherent. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's a female-led series. It's that you're having the star of the series do everything. Right? You're having her do, like, absolutely everything. You have her as a xenoanthropologist scanning for life forms. You have her as a security officer. You have her fighting, knowing martial arts. You have her doing absolutely everything, and everybody else has their thumb up their backside while she's off being the bestest ever. And their whole point on the show is to tell Michael Burnham how wonderful she is. That's not how a starship works. You have more people to you had Bellator as an engineering. You had Tom Paris at the helm. You had I can't remember anybody now on Voyager. Garrett Wang on security. I can't remember his character name. Harry Kim. Boomer moment. Sorry. I'm an old person. Can't remember names anymore, but you had people do, he wasn't security. I don't remember, because I remember Tuvok was like tactical now. Oh my God, I need to go back and rewatch Voyager. It's been a few years since I watched Voyager. Don't get me wrong. I want to say probably about 7 or 8 years since I watched it again. Not everybody ran, or not everybody was like... You can't have a show that's an ensemble cast, or supposed to be, that is about nobody. The people that start on the Discovery, we can't even name them. We don't even know their character names. We have new nicknames for them, like Lisa Left Eye for the girl with the thing over her head, or LeBron James, or Not Sulu, or Nebula. Right? We've renamed the crew because they don't tell us anything about them. It's all about Michael Burnham. That is the problem. And it would be the same way if it was all about Stamets or all about Captain Lorca and nobody else did anything. So it has nothing to do with the gender, the color of their skin, is the fact that there's the writing of the show that doesn't understand what Star Trek is. It is Star Trek trying to be Star Wars. Yeah. Did you watch the original series? It was extremely misogynistic. Alright, screw you, Captain Janeway. Now you don't get it. That's what it was for years, and Picard followed that to a certain extent. Well, you do have more male sort of types who join the military, though. This is still a military show. It's a military ship. Yeah, you've got a bunch of diplomats and counselors and scientists. And you had a pretty damn good mix. You had women doctors, you had women counselors, you have women at security with Tasha Yar. You had women on the ship. It wasn't that bad. It really, really wasn't. I mean, it's not like going into a retail place and it's all women. It's all a bunch of chicks. And maybe one or two gay guys at the makeup counter. That's not... You guys have to understand that certain types of people tend to lean and go towards certain types of jobs. Roddenberry himself was that way. We are simply going to have to change the sensibility, this ideology. And we are, but it's like moving granite. It takes a long time. We are not a society that has endorsed females as equals to males on television. Well, equal is great. I just hate it when they bash men. When, you get like that carpet cleaner commercial where you've got, where they ask a question. Do you have kids and pets and a husband? Like he's third in line behind the pet dragging his ass on the carpet. Right? Do you need this carpet cleaning service? That is the problem. This whole blatant bashing of males in the society. I'm tired of it. You cannot be equal if you go around trashing one gender. Sorry, you can't. We're beyond that. We're better than that. Nevertheless, Mulgrew did not rule out the return to the franchise in Picard, which stars Patrick Stewart, and picks up the story after the events of Voyager, which Janeway had been promoted to Admiral. Well, she was Admiral in Nemesis, I believe. I might go back and talk to them passionately about the way, the truth, and the light. And it would make sense if 7 of 9 is there. She would say, here, let me call up Admiral Janeway, because Janeway was kind of like a mom to her, or an aunt. Janeway, the Janeway and 7 of 9 relationship is really what they should have done with the Philippa Georgiou and Michael Burnham relationship. You should have had it about Captain Georgiou and her crew, not Captain Georgiou making racist comments against Saru's species in episode 1, because they did that. She's like, oh, he's just a Kelpian. Excuse me? Oh, he's just a Kelpian. They're like that. Excuse me? Or Michael Burnham just shoving him out of the way like he's a second-class citizen because he's played by a white male, in my opinion, right? That's what it really feels like. So can we just kind of get beyond this whole separation and putting labels on stuff? Because remember the 90s, they were like, oh, don't label me. I'm just an actor. Right? Don't label me. I'm, don't separate me by anything. I can stand on my own. And that's the ideology that I always went for. I can stand on my own. I don't need you to cater towards me because of my gender. And I'm not going to trash you because of yours. Plain and simple. So yes, hashtag equality over tokenism. I am Mecha Random 42. Tell me what you guys think of this. I'm a little disappointed. I think her heart's in the right place, though. I think she's just using maybe the wrong words. They might be asking her some loaded questions, because sometimes they do that. We didn't see all of the questions that they asked. And we don't know what they've told them. We don't know what people have said. That, they might say, oh, people are racist because they don't like Michael Burnham. They're sexist because they don't like Michael Burnham. That is just marketing and PR. We don't care. We just want to have a crew that we can name. And we know what their jobs are, right? And now I'm looking at my cast picture of Voyager, and I'm like, yeah, I can name all these people and their jobs on the ship for the most part, if I was not dumb and old. We can't do that with Voyager. I couldn't tell you what Nebula does on the ship. The chick with the... I couldn't tell you what half these people do on the ship. Tilly does something. She does everything. I don't know. Stamets is the only one, and he's the plant guy, apparently. His specialty is mushrooms. Anyway, tell me what you guys think. I am Mecha Random 42. I will see you guys at Star Trek Las Vegas next week. Bye! Thanks for watching! If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!